the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl
expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 213. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
And it's the three amigos this week. June, obviously not here. So we'll just have to deal with the three of us for the first half. G-Money should be joining us in the second half, per usual, since I haven't heard otherwise. But yeah, just your boys in the first half this week. Folks, the show we talk about NFL and NBA, and we always open the show up with a cheers. So let's continue that tradition. Oh, you
guys think that
shots I've been up here.
you guys think that June lost his invite to the show like CeeDee Lamb did in the Sun there? That's what it was. Look at this. That son be killer.
or the moon.
Or the moon.
That was pretty funny.
Just curtains. Curtains.
I love Jerry Jones' response.
Jerry's had it. He's over it. And
He's over the excuses. That's what he's over.
folks, we do the show every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. So if you want to watch the show live, you have that opportunity every Wednesday night. You can subscribe to the channel. You can be notified whenever we go live, just in case you forget. And then be sure to drop a like, whether you're here live or not. It always helps the channel grow. And yeah, it helps more people find these episodes. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the recap for this week, or last week rather. Week 10 in the NFL is a wrap. Isn't it crazy we're already into the double digits of this year's season? Like, that's crazy to think about.
Bad.
Yes, it is very sad. Like, we'll be at Thanksgiving here in just a couple weeks. But let's start off with the Steelers upsetting the Commanders. 28-27 was the final score. Great game. Two very hot teams meeting each other. Russell Wilson getting the job done in the end. Question to you guys is, do you think that the Steelers are legit title contenders? Malin, I will start with you.
I think they're contenders to win their division. I think they're contenders to possibly go deep into the playoffs. This is what, Russell Wilson's third game that he's played. Is it third?
I think it's his third.
His third, maybe his fourth. We haven't seen enough. Everyone is really excited about what the Commanders have done this year. We got a great record. We'll see how they do against the Eagles, but I don't think any of us are thinking that the Commanders are title contenders this year. So them beating the Commanders doesn't exactly sway my vote. You know, beat a Bills team, beat a Ravens team, beat a Chiefs team as you're currently constructed. And we can talk, but they look like they're right there. I mean, they have the no quit. Russell Wilson has that deep ball, just like he did in Seattle. Beautiful moonshot. I mean, that thing hung into the air for days. Looked like a damn flare. Like if the Titanic had a deep ball with their flares like that, somebody would have seen it, and they would have been rescued. It's just, and to throw it to Mike Williams too, who'd been on the team for like 17 minutes. Great team win. But yeah, title contenders. I still think that's got to be the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills as far as title contenders. But they surprise us They could. They're opening my eyes. Opening my eyes.
Nestor, what do you think?
Yeah, they do have that gritty football that is needed in January and February. To me, they can be title contenders. It's just like Malin said, it's gonna take. We have to see them play the Bills. We have to see them play Chiefs. Their defense is great. That pass rush with T.J. Watt, yeah, I think is this at the center of all of it. But and now you have Russell Wilson, who's playing really damn well. So I would love to see what they can do once they get to the playoffs, because I feel like they're very well coached and they have a great defense, and they tend to hold teams to not a lot of points. So it's going to be great to see how that gritty football does against these other teams that we got in mind, like the Bills and the Chiefs.
I do not think that they are title contenders. I think they are a threat to a title contender. I think they're a bad matchup for a lot of teams in the AFC. And I think a lot of teams in the AFC would not want to see them in the playoffs because they've got a very good defense. And now they've got, I would say, an exceptional offense. So if a team, and we're going to find out this Sunday against Baltimore how that comes out. But I would like to think that Baltimore would not want to see them in the first round of the playoffs. Cincinnati's a bit of a different story entirely, but Buffalo, I don't think they would want to see them in the playoffs. Kansas City, maybe, but probably not. I really could see them winning like getting to the second round of the playoffs, and then after that, probably not much further. But the first round of the playoffs, whoever plays them, I think would be in a lot of trouble. And one of those like top teams that we think are title contenders could catch an L to them when it matters the most. So that's as far as I think they would go, those second round.
Let's look at their last 4 wins. I mean, Washington's impressive, but before that, Vegas, Jets, and Giants. And Russell Wilson has beaten the Jets, the Giants, and Washington. 3 teams that we didn't think would be worth shit coming into this year. And the Commanders are surprising us, but it's still damn near lost to a rookie quarterback. But that is only the second time all year that the Pittsburgh defense is allowed over 20 points.
Wow.
No, third time all year they've allowed over 20 points. So, I mean, they've been holding people 15 or under for a lot of these games. So the defense is definitely legit. I just got to see it against Baltimore. We'll see how much Baltimore really is going to be scared of them in the playoffs after this week.
Yeah, this should be a great game. Next one, we've got, speaking of Baltimore, on Thursday night, they came back to beat the Bengals 35-34. And Bengals fans probably sick at this point. Should those same fans just give up on the playoffs? Malin, we will start with you.
I kind of think you have to. It sucks to say to stop thinking about the playoffs, but when you're 4-6 and you got 3 teams over 5 wins in the AFC West, Houston is 6-4. You got 2 7-win teams in your own division, and then you got Buffalo. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 teams over 5 wins. You're one below them. I mean, I guess if you want to get in with a losing record, maybe. I guess it's not completely out of reach because they've been losing some close games. Maybe they can put it together. I mean, when I look at their schedule, you got the Chargers and Pittsburgh and Dallas, Tennessee. I mean, they could put some wins up there. I don't know. They just haven't been able to put together complete games. And when you can't put together complete games, it makes me feel like you're not going to be able to get enough W's to make it. They're not necessarily dealing with a whole lot of injuries. I I just think they keep showing up ill prepared to win in big moments. I question the thought process of going for 2 in that moment. You got a 50. You just used your best play on the 2-yard line to score a touchdown, so you don't have another one in your back pocket for a 2-point conversion. And neither team, yes, has really been able to stop the other one in the second half, but you had a 50-50 shot of getting that ball. And Baltimore hadn't been able to stop you either. So I didn't like that call. Too much can go wrong from 2 yards out. There's just not enough field, and you're out of chances with just one play. So I think just play calling, I gotta say no. I think they should give it up. I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Nestor.
To me, the Bengals are just. I said it last week. I don't like their running game. I feel like all they have is their passing. And yeah, of course, with Burrow, I think he had 400 something yards against the Ravens, but it's not enough. His stats are great, but it's not enough because they're just, to me, they just feel very one dimensional. So I think they can't get anything else going. And if you make mistakes on top of that, I mean, for me, some people were talking about the Dolphins possibly making it to a wild card. Season's over. And I think the Bengals should wrap it up too and be like, it's over. Your team is too one-dimensional. You have no running game. Poor Chase Brown is not going to last very long doing all that work. Herbert came in and fumbled on his first play. But that's not going anywhere. And it sucks because I like Burrow. I think he's very talented. And it sucks to see him with great stats, but you have a bad record. And Gazeki was saying that they're tight end. He was saying it like you're the team is just the record's a reflection of the team, and that's where they are right now because that's the team. Not good defense, no running game. It's just all Burrow throwing these dimes to Chase, and it's just not enough, unfortunately. So yeah.
I would say that this Sunday for them is a must win. Like they have to beat the Chargers in order to keep their hopes alive. And if I was a fan, though, I'm really not putting any stock into that. They do have a good, a relatively easy remaining schedule, like Malin was saying. There's a lot of teams in there that they could beat up on. But that's going to most likely require a win this Sunday and then them actually following through, and you cannot lose any games, those easier games. Like you damn near need to finish off 7 or 6-1 or something along those lines if you're going to try and get to that 10-win mark and then pray to take a wild card spot. That's a lot that needs to go
that's
right.
assuming that 10 wins is what you need to get in, though,
Yeah,
because when I'm looking at it now, at 7 seed, do we think Miami's going to jump up from 3 and 6 until a 7 seed?
No.
Do we think the Jets are going to steal it?
No.
Are we big believers in Indianapolis at 4 and 6?
The Colts can't even decide their quarterback.
And are we super stoked about Denver?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the only team that Cincinnati has to overtake is Denver. That's one game better than them right now. That's all they got to do is be better than Denver.
That's pretty crazy.
I want to say that the fans should, and I was just saying all that, but then I started looking at the standings, and I'm like, all you got to be is better than Denver, and you can make the playoffs. And you're one game behind them. Doesn't that sound wild with how just inconsistent they've played?
Yes,
but you're there's so many teams with bad records that I don't think they have a chance of coming up.
They got into a dogfight with the Giants. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah.
But I just don't think 10 wins gets you to 7 seed in the AFC. I think you can get it at 9 wins. And maybe even as bad as this conference is because it's so top heavy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if 8 does it.
Jesus.
I mean, we've seen people come in with losing records before, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's years past the NFC East.
So, I mean, all they got. If I'm a Cincy fan, my mantra is we just have to be better than Denver the rest of the way.
Was it Zach Taylor? He's probably just on their big whiteboard at their HQ is just tapping better than Denver every week.
Better than Denver. Hey, Burrow, just be better than Bo Nix. Just, I can't be better than Sean Payton, so you got to be better than Bo Nix. That's what.
All right, let's switch gears over to the NFC here. Cardinals beat up on the Jets 31-6. Made the Jets. Kyler Murray looked like the best quarterback in the NFL last Sunday because he was just balling out of control. I forget how many passes he completed, but I think he had like 1 or 2 incomplete passes in the entire game. He was stupid accurate. Point here, though. Do you think the Cardinals are going to win their division? Malin, we will start with you.
No, I don't think they will. Your San Francisco. We all said San Francisco was going to get hit by the injury bug, right? The only person out for the whole year is Brandon Ayuk, and they finally got CMC back. And in the midst of all of those injuries and not having CMC, Arizona was able to muster one game better than San Francisco. I just have this feeling, man, that San Francisco was going to hit their stride. Without all their weapons and all these injuries, Arizona is only been able to score 5 more points than San Francisco. And they've given up 18 more points than San Francisco. Yes, Arizona is playing very well. I think Arizona is really in line to be a wild card team. I don't think that's at all out of the question. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 teams with a winning record right now in the NFC. They're right there on that cusp of being like a really good wild card team. But I just have a hard time thinking that San Francisco, even without Brandon Ayuk, isn't going to be able to rip off some wins against Seattle and Green Bay. Buffalo is going to be a problem. Then they got Chicago, the Rams, and Miami. I think they're going to get a lot of wins there. I think they have two really tough games the rest of the way in Detroit and Buffalo. Those are like going to be the 2 hardest tests. But they could easily, out of their next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they could win 5 of that, end up with 10, 11 wins. I'm not sure that Arizona necessarily has that in them. I just think San Francisco is going to catch them. If I'm a betting man and you're giving me a 1-game start with Arizona against San Francisco, I don't think that's enough.
Fair. Nestor.
Yeah. When I saw them play, I'm sorry. When I saw them play Miami, I just saw how gritty they were. Great defense, and they have these flashes, man, with Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray, where it's just like it's annoyingly difficult to stop them. And I think, unfortunately for the fans, I don't think they're gonna win the division this year, but it's. You just have to applaud this team for what they've done this season, because they could get that wild card, and in that division, I would have never guessed that they could hang in there. Because number one, I expected a lot more from the Rams with that wide receiver duo, and even Seattle. Like, I did not expect them to be second in that division. So they're playing some pretty good football. It's not luck. It's just. There's moments where they're playing pretty damn good football, and I saw it against my Dolphins. So I just think the 49ers they're getting healthy again, and with McCaffrey, it's going to be hard to, take the division away from them.
They do have a pretty easy schedule going forward, though, Jalen.
That's where I was going with this.
Man, I just looked at their schedule, man. They're going to be favored in 6 out of the last 7, and that last one's going to be a doozy against the Niners. But you get my Seahawks twice, Minnesota, the Patriots, Carolina, and the Rams.
Exactly. when you compare their schedules, one's got a cakewalk, the other one's got some games in there.
Yeah.
So I
They
really
might
do think that there's a high chance it's going to come down to that last game of the season where they may have the same record, and that determines who wins the division.
And they're playing at home. They
Yeah.
get San Fran on the home in that one.
That'd be fun to see.
Man,
Cardinals win that division.
Wouldn't that
I'll be so fucking mad. Oh, I'm so mad.
When the Steelers in there too, what is going on?
What is?
If they win this division, we're gonna need to do a wellness check on me.
What is
All
this
this
like?
for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl again.
In 2010 with Kurt Warner running this team again. Bullshit. Carson Palmer out here with fucking Bruce Arians.
Well, that is the recap
Haters over there.
for this week. Before we hit the next topic, do want to mention we have a Discord. It is free to join. The link is always down in the description below, so be sure to come check out our Discord if you want to talk ball throughout the week with us and other friends of the show. Yeah, free to join. Link in the description. Come check us out. Next topic is a fun one. Coaching hot seats. We've now got about 10 games worth of tape here to see how these teams have been performing this year. Which coaches seem to have it, which coaches seem to not have it. And I think it would be fun to see who you guys think, as of right now, their job is in jeopardy when it comes to being a head coach of their current team. So we'll each go around and give 3 coaches. I guess we can just give all 3 at once. Because I mean, there's no real specific order here. Yeah, I made a video earlier today. My 3, I have Doug Peterson, of course, Nick Sirianni, and I actually have DeMeco Ryans as my 3rd one. I think the first 2, I don't really think require much explanation. At least Sirianni, if the Eagles have a similar finish to last year, he's got to be gone. Like, they need to go deep in the playoffs in order for him to have any hope of saving his job. Anything less, it makes no sense as to why he's still there. But DeMeco Ryans, I really think that if the Texans have a bad second half of the season, and that's the caveat, if they are like okay and go like 500 from here on out, he should still be back. But if they completely fall apart due to Collins and Diggs being out, I have a feeling that the higher ups in Houston are going to say, hey, we've got this young star QB. We got a defensive minded head coach. There's a mismatch there. We need an offensive mind to come in here and get this thing where it should be. Because, I mean, hey, coaches don't have a very long leash. Like, they will get rid of you quick, fast, in a hurry. And as much as I like DeMeco Ryans, if that thing gets jacked up, I have a feeling they're going to start with him over anything else. So those are my 3. Nestor, I'll go to you next. Who's your list consist
of? I think definitely I agree with Nick Sirianni. I agree with I think Jacksonville needs a new direction. I think Doug Peterson is great, but I think they need a new direction. They could do well with a new coach, new ambiance.
everything.
But I don't like the Bears coaching. I think they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna do the same thing again and put it all in Caleb Williams. We just got picked wrong. Caleb Williams just doesn't want to pass the ball. He doesn't want to just play NFL. He's still stuck in that college mindset. So he's not playing well. It's the quarterback. No, you got a great defense. You got some weapons in there. I think Matt Eberflus might be looking at the exit door.
The only reason I didn't put Eberflus in there is because I believe the Bears already said that they plan on bringing him back next year, which at the end of the day doesn't really mean anything. But I just think, like, why bother saying that if you didn't mean it? But I don't know.
Feel bad for those fans.
Listen, I got 3 coaches that will not be the head coach of the current team next year. There's no one that you guys have said. First one, Zach Taylor, Cincinnati.
Ooh.
You missed the playoffs with Joe Burrow again when he's healthy. It's one thing to miss it when he's injured, but the man's thrown 24 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 68 completion percentage. Chase has over 10 touchdowns already on the season, and you're losing games. Mainly, again, like I said, that's why I brought up the play calling, not going for 2. I thought that was egregious. Okay. Number 2, Daboll, the New York Giants. Sir, you were brought in there with the GM of the Giants to fix this organization, and you made Josh Allen better, and you were supposed to make Vanilla Vic better, and you made him worse. They used to do this thing on social media where, hey, here's the anatomy of the worst quarterback ever, and it has a lot of pieces of a bunch of different quarterbacks. Now you can just put up a picture of Daniel Jones and say, here's the anatomy of the worst quarterback in the league, and it makes sense. So I think he's definitely on the hot seat, Brian Daboll. And then I can't believe you guys didn't say this one. Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy on the goddamn hot seat?
He's up there.
He's not getting fired after this year. You get 3 12-win seasons, and you're 3-6 right now. 3-6, and you're not having Dak back, so you can't save the season. And you got Jerry Jones out there getting sick and tired of all these excuses why they can't win. They've had players complaining about tours going on in the facility. Now it's the light coming into the in the stadium. Like, Jerry Jones is like, he's like, maybe we should just tear it down and build another one. That's a man that's just done at this point. So those 3 head coaches, like, I don't think they're going to be head coaches next year. But I literally think we're going to have like 10 new head coaches in the NFL next year. We already lost 2 of them, right? We already lost the Jets and we lost the Saints. Okay? So we already lost those 2. I think you're right with Chicago. I think Chicago's number 3. I think the Giants and Dallas is 4 and 5. I think that you're probably going to lose Jacksonville. You're probably going to lose in Indianapolis. You're Stefanski at 2 and 7. I don't care. He didn't do the thing with Deshaun Watson. It's not working out in Cleveland. Stefanski's probably getting jumped in Cleveland. So in Cincinnati. I think that Buffalo, if they don't win the Super Bowl, they could be looking for somebody. Mike McDaniels, he's safe. He's safe. He ain't going nowhere. But I also think that if the season does go sideways in San Francisco, that could be interesting. If they end up with like 7 wins, that could be really interesting. So there's a lot of coaches I think are on the hot seat. But those 3, man, Cincy, Giants, Cowboys, all going to be looking for new people. All of them. But I do think that Nestor's right about number 1. I do think it's the Bears. I think the Bears are going to fire him so fast, they might set him on fire when they fire him. Because Caleb Williams is dog shit right now.
Yes.
And they need to save face.
JT from JT Sports, shout out to him. He said that he needs to be arrested. There should be a warrant out for him for the manslaughter of Caleb Williams.
I mean, Shane Waldron was a better offensive coordinator with Geno Smith than he was with Caleb Williams. Like, there's a lot of weapons on that offense, and they couldn't get it going.
I know.
So I don't know if Caleb Williams is getting people fired or they're getting themselves fired because they can't help him. I don't know which is which yet, because Caleb Williams only had 2 good games in the NFL so far. Other than that, very lackluster. Eberflus, goddamn Canadians. out. Get out of here. Go back up to CFL.
G
Done.
Money says Eberflus, McCarthy, and here's a new one: Antonio Pierce.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah,
not-
but
I'm
see,
not
the Vegas
mad at that.
they don't like spending money though, so they don't want to fire you a year after signing you
Right.
and then pay that money and hire somebody else. Because Davis can't even hire a good hairstylist, man. I don't know if he's still paying John Gruden, isn't he?
Is he
He's
still
still paying
paying,
John Gruden?
on that damn contract?
That was a 10-year deal.
Oof. Good.
I mean, that was a 10-year contract. I think it was a 10-year, $130 million contract or something like that. I mean, that was a ridiculous. Unless he was able to get out of it from the way that they were able to fire him
Yeah.
by the NFL league, but I don't think they did. I don't think they got out from that contract.
I need
That's
that
a-
kind of deal. Oh my goodness.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
Fire me and I'm still getting paid for the next
But yeah,
decade.
Antonio Pierce is not. He's not doing good, but he wasn't given much to begin with, though. Like,
No.
hey, we'll give you McConnell and we'll give you Jesus Jorts, and
Now go
we'll
away.
see what happens. Go win us a ring in Vegas, baby.
Did Jerry
That's a bad
Jones? Did Jerry Jones actually say that they need to just build a new stadium?
He literally said when he was asked about it, he was like, maybe we should just tear the whole thing down and build another one. Like, it was in his comment. He was like, we've always known where the sun is. It was like, it doesn't change.
That's something. That sounds like something Michael Scott would say if he owned an NFL team. Like, let's just tear it all down and build a new one.
He's like, maybe we should just tear it. Like, he was so pissed because of how much money went into that, and he was like, y'all want me to put curtains up? Like, if anything, you guys know the sun is going to be in that end zone
Exactly.
every week. Not every team knows that. It should be an advantage to us. But so he's so tone deaf to not understand that, yes, it definitely kept CeeDee Lamb for not seeing the ball. But also, he's like, what do you guys want me to do now? You already don't want me to give tours in the facility. Now you want me to get big-ass curtains. What else you guys need? You guys need slushies? Y'all need some Kona ice on the sideline? Is that going to help y'all win? Like, I think he's just beside himself at this point. He doesn't know what to say or do.
He's the gift that keeps on giving. All right.
I love
We're going to go
Jay-Z.
to a break, 10-minute break. When we come back, we've got community comments. We're talking. We're going to hear what you guys think about what coaches should be possibly putting their resumes out. We're going to hear your guys' comments about the Lions being better than the Chiefs. And then the real heady one, you guys have a bunch to say about Malin's take on Josh Allen being in the same MVP conversation as Lamar Jackson. A lot of emotions.
Oh boy.
A lot of emotions.
A lot of racial ones, isn't it? A lot of racial ones. Should have done this take right after the election. I'll tell you that much.
Terrible timing. Terrible timing.
Couldn't have done.
Impeccable.
I'm still right, though. Still right. You don't want to hear how I think that Joe Burrow is right there with him, too, but that's beside the point.
G Money will be joining us in the second half. G Money also just said in the chat the Raiders are not paying Gruden after he resigned. They came to an agreement.
Oh, an agreement.
They
Okay.
settled, is what he's
They still
saying.
paid him something.
Right.
They paid him something. Yeah.
Paid him 50 cents.
He
on
didn't
the
just walk
dollar.
away without a bag.
Right.
He's like Mattress Mac leaving to the airport from Vegas with wheelbarrows of money after the Astros won the World Series. That was John Gruden.
I need to come to an agreement. All right. We're going to go to break. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the man, the myth, the legend, G Money.
So some people decided to get some hate on my take. CeeDee Lamb, not top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Your boy, currently 32nd in the league in receptions, number 10 in yards, 35th in touchdown. That doesn't sound elite. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and this man is below 32 in 2 out of 3 major categories. So go ahead, Cowboys fans. Blame Dak, blame McCarthy, but your boy CeeDee Lamb is not even a top 30 wide receiver in 2 out of 3 categories in the NFL. Yes, they're undefeated, and everybody can continue to laugh at me when I say that the Lions are better. No,
Come on, dog. You gotta let that shit go.
Hold on.
You have to let that shit go, bro.
The power rankings on ESPN and NFL Network are agreeing with me. Pro Football Focus agrees with me. And here's the thing.
Bro.
Yeah, the eye test. Eye test is easy because Detroit's blowing people out and Kansas City is barely winning games. Kansas City is plus 56 on point differential. They've scored 203 points, given up 147. Detroit, on the other hand, has scored 258, given up 148. They're plus 110. They're more than 50 points better in the point differential than Kansas City. And luck has everything to do with it sometimes when you win games and when you have the refs help.
Take a shot. Too much up. Oh! Rise up. Oh! Come on, let's go. Somebody got to win. Who wants it? How bad do you want it? Oh! You got it. Uh-oh, here we go. Right line. Oh, not tonight, sir.
Why is it that everyone is just unanimously assuming that Lamar Jackson is running away with the MVP race right now? Lamar Jackson, 68% completion, 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 500 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at Josh Allen, 64 completion. He's got over 2,000 yards. He's 17-2. And he's only got 260 yards rushing, but he has 3 touchdowns. I think it's a lot closer. Baltimore has a better running back. I don't think that Shakir or Coleman or Kincaid are better than Flowers and Andrews, likely. Lamar Jackson has better weapons around him. Josh Allen is keeping pace with less around him. And I think that it's like a 1A, 1B right now between those two. Well, I just walked 2 miles in this damn stadium.
Can I get a Miller Lite, man?
Okay. I like your shirt.
It's like $18.
Fuck, we're Road G, season 21, 22. And LSU.
I apologize.
Oh, drinks. You're good. You're good.
I want to know what happened to Baltimore's defense. Bucks ain't this good.
Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
Technically, it's 101st.
Holding. Bring that shit back. You're a wizard.
$1 more would have gotten you a highlight.
They conned us. They conned us into this.
That's some bullshit.
Excuse me, sir.
There's a lot of elderly Ravens fans right here.
Yes, the Baltimore Colts marching band, back when they used to have a marching band.
A lot of popcorn. Well, there goes our points.
There goes our points. Why are you so mad, man?
He's so angry. Let's go into the exit!
Henry on the carry, held down by Lawrence Beeman. Second and 11 at the 41.
You lucked out with Brady. Three. Last shit don't matter. Better get But you bet me 4-3. Yeah, we 4-3, and we gonna win our division. Y'all will not. No, you're not even number one. Atlanta's way better than y'all. You crazy. Oh shit.
Three NFL head coaches that I think are on the hot seat right now. Let's start off with DeMeco Ryans here. I know the Texans are missing some key guys on offense, but they still have CJ Stroud, and nowadays higher-ups want their young QBs to have success fast. DeMeco Ryans is a defensive-minded head coach. The higher-ups may not have much patience with him if the Texans fizzle out this second half of the season. Number two, Nick Sirianni. He should have been gone at the end of last year for just keeping it real, but the Eagles are having some success right now. But if they have another disappointing end of the season, he is gone. Doug Peterson is toast. He should have been gone yesterday. Hot seat's an understatement. He shouldn't have a seat at all. I would be shocked if he makes it to the end of this season before getting fired. But let us know in the comments below, who are three head coaches you think are on the hot seat right now?
Stalled right around the 30. Darnold on the slant, off of Jefferson's hands. Darnold, time, plenty of it, end zone shot, and another! Darnold's hoping for a one-on-one somewhere. He's throwing to the end zone, and he's picked again!
10 after the scramble by Lance. And lofts it, and he's intercepted.
It's deflected towards Gibbs, and it's intercepted! Play action, Goff pressured and to move that ball, got hit, knocked out. It is free, and it's in the hands of the Texans. Montgomery to the 20. Goff shot from the end zone, intercepted.
In the discussion for sure. 3rd and 9. Ball's back, knocked out of his hands. Cowboy lineman, football follies, and maybe Philadelphia has it.
It's like the Bills in the 90s, man. People don't realize that the Bills and the Dolphins pretty much played every year for the AFC Championship game and played for the AFC East, and the Dolphins always lost. It was in their head, and that's what it seems to be now. It's just in Tua's head.
Tua needs great people around him for him to be great. Josh Allen makes other people around him better than what they are. When you have a quarterback like that, you're going to beat the quarterback that needs the people more often than not. Buffalo is the standard still in the AFC East right now.
The Dolphins defense cannot contain Josh Allen. Just looking back the past couple years, this past game, he threw for 235 yards. When they played them earlier this year, only 139 yards, but that was game 2 and went down, and they just ran the ball all over the Dolphins. Playoff game, 359 yards, 320 yards, 304 yards, 400 yards. He has torched them. Welcome back, folks. Second half of your favorite show on the internet. We are joined by the one, the only, your favorite, G Money. What's going on?
Gentlemen, it's always good to be here on a Wednesday night. Even up here in the windy, fucking wet PNW. At least I know there's warmth and sunshine here.
Yeah, we might have another hurricane coming next week.
Hey. Didn't want to hear
I was
that.
driving home and it was winds sustained at 35 miles an hour, gusting to 60.
Nice.
I was like, and Now it's some dumbass motherfucker and a goddamn vet past me doing 85. Like, yeah, motherfucker, keep on going. Your car weighs like 1,000 pounds. At some point, you're going to be in a guardrail.
We got some bitch down in the Caribbean named Sarah doing the same thing, but by the time she hits us, she might be doing 150 mile an hour winds. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that shit. That's crazy shit.
Cheers it up.
Come on.
I forgot to go grab a second beer. So I will be doing that at some point. But before that happens, let's get to our favorite segment of the week. Get my phone here so we can read some comments because you guys have plenty to say. Let's start off. Let's get right into the thick of things here. Malin last week made the case, which, by the way, people, before you get your panties all in a knot, he didn't say that Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson. He just said that he should be in the same MVP conversation as Lamar Jackson. But TikTok,
they're already knotted up.
They're very knotted. So we have almost 200 comments. I will not be reading all of those, as you could probably imagine. A lot of this is people arguing with each other, I will say, because that's what people love to do. That's what they put on this earth to do, I swear. Let's start off with the most liked comment. This person's comment got 226 likes. From Trey, he says, bro just explained why Lamar is ahead in the first 20 seconds. Okay.
I don't understand why I did that.
JJ's playpen says, why is Lamar running away with MVP? Maybe because he's leading in every stat you just listed. And then he got into an argument, or some people started arguing. Treybo says, it can change. Plenty of games left, but it's not close between them two. Lamar has not had any below average games like Josh Allen. Dude went 9 and 30. He only put up 10 points versus the worst pass defense in the league.
Okay, wasn't that last week?
Yes.
That was after I made my comment.
Case. Right.
I mean, come on.
Curtis M says, maybe because Baltimore beat Buffalo 34-10 and Lamar didn't go 9 and 34, and Lamar has the worst secondary in football. Maybe this is Lamar's first year in his career. Okay, Curtis. Maybe this is Lamar's first year in his career. He has more weapons than any quarterback.
I don't know about that.
Deshaun Davis says Josh Allen is good. Unfortunately, he plays in the same era as Lamar. Luke Hicks says, so when he didn't have weapons, he won. Now he has better players, and folks still hold it against Action Jackson. Josh had Diggs for years. Shaking my head, stop the hate. Only Zaxer, who Lamar Jackson is his profile picture. So, bro said Lamar Jackson beats Allen in every stat and said, why is this not close? Bro explained a lot. Or bro explained it. Can we ban the word bro in our comments?
Bro, like, please.
And can we also can we just for a second, Jalen, understand that yes, when I made the comment, they were very close in stats.
Mm-hmm. Right, at the time.
Josh Allen had a bad week. Lamar Jackson had a really great Thursday, and I knew I was going to get support. And that's fine. Like that's totally fine. He does have 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I know that. I also know he has a lot more passing touchdowns because he has Derrick Henry now, and he's not running for as many touchdowns. But I never said he wasn't deserving. I never said Lamar Jackson wasn't deserving. I just wasn't saying that it was a runaway like everybody is saying. And that's why I'll also put Burrow up there. There's 2 other quarterbacks in this conversation that if Lamar Jackson slips up, if he has another game like he had 2 weeks ago, because people say he doesn't have subpar games, G Money lost a fantasy game because Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry did not play well 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
He has the entire offense, so it's not like he's not immune to it. If he slips up, then yeah, it could be a much tighter than what people think. But I get it. The election just happened, people. Crucify me. God damn. I'm not trying to make Josh Allen Secretary of State or anything, okay?
Yes, there's a lot of people here benefiting off of recency bias. Right. Because I believe this came out right before the Thursday night game. I'm pretty sure I put that up on Thursday. Could be wrong, but anyway. And then they were very
close in stats until last week.
Right. And combine that with people who also strewed the argument in the wrong direction. Anyway. All right. What's the other one? Oh yeah, Lions better than the Chiefs right now. Where's that at? Okay. Marty AB says if the Lions were undefeated and the Chiefs had 1 loss, people would still rank the Chiefs higher. So that's why I'm okay with this. Thank you, Marty.
It would not. You would not. If the Lions were undefeated and Kansas City had 1 loss, you would not say Kansas City was better because the only thing you have to hang your head on is the fact that Kansas City is undefeated.
No, but I think I agree with them. I still think that people give the bias to Kansas City regardless because they're Kansas City.
Which is what you're doing. But
yes,
you would think
absolutely.
the Lions were better if they were undefeated. If the Lions were undefeated and Kansas City had 1 loss, you would think the Lions were better.
I'd still say
you're insane. You are insane.
They have the refs. No other team has the refs.
What about you, Nestor? What about you, Nestor? If it was reversed.
I 120% agree with Jalen. Like they have the refs, the defense. Hey, people don't understand how good that Chiefs defense is and how they get you to play their game. It's a wrap.
They're so good that the Lions have a better rated defense than them. Shut up. Stop with all this Nick Wright nonsense.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
FS1.
Me and Jalen are probably hoping we're wrong.
Right. I would love to be proven wrong.
Please.
The fact that if
Bills
you were
and
proven
fucking
wrong,
Lions
you still wouldn't admit it is what's insane. Because you just said off air that your record says what you are, but yet you're saying if the Lions were undefeated and the Chiefs had 1 loss, the Chiefs would still be better.
There's some discrepancy there, like refs, that's defense, Taylor Swift.
There's a lot. There's a lot behind the scenes. The script.
Okay. Let's hear some more comments because I know at least G Money is rational headed, and I know that he would lean the other way if the Lions were undefeated and the Chiefs had 1 loss.
There's not many comments here, but I'll read the rest. Blank says the Lions are far better. And then Duck Sauce replied to him and said, more talent and offense, but overall, they are not a far better team. Teresa Gone says, Lions are the best team as of right now. Teresa lives in Detroit, I promise you. And then Cam Hoffman says, Chiefs are currently losing to Bo Nix and the Broncos. Oh, Cam.
Ooh, that didn't age well. Yeah. If only you were on the Broncos special teams unit. Maybe
they could have used you, Cam.
Maybe they could have used you, Cam. Maybe you'd have lined up on that left side. Because I know for damn certain that left guard didn't even get his fucking head up. He got pancaked like he was getting served on a fucking special at IHOP. That son of a bitch. He got bulldozed by 3 people. Didn't even get his fucking head up.
Oh my god. That was a photo finish there. And today's video, which coaches should be on the hot seat? A lot of people giving me shit over D'Amico Ryans. That's fine. B says Eberflus, McCarthy, Mike McDaniel. C Walk says no way Ever Lose isn't on this list.
Get mature.
Juan C. Martinez says the most obvious ... and they just put the cowboy star. And then Philip McMillan says Mayo. Philip,
No,
relax.
I'm gonna give him another year.
Philip.
Especially because Drake May just beat the number 1 pick in the NFL. Handily.
Thank you.
Handily.
Also, whose name is Philip in 2024? Anyway,
People that were
Someone that lives,
with it. I don't know.
someone who lives in his parents' basement, and
G Money takes it up a notch.
He's chilling in there. He's chilling out there with his stained whitey tighties, just slamming away on a keyboard, yelling at his mom to eat his mac and cheese later.
with my snack, Mom.
Shout out to A-Man Report in the live chat. He says McDaniel, Taylor, and Steichen.
Hey.
I
agree with you.
Earlier,
Okay, I was about to say, Nestor's been talking about how he doesn't like McDaniels.
He did also give 3 more. He said Eberflus, Peterson, McCarthy, Dayball. He gives 7 coaches. Jesus.
Damn.
Everybody out. I thought, man, there's a lot of people losing their jobs.
Good job.
I agree with Peterson, though, man. I didn't have Peterson on my list.
Yeah.
But Peterson is there, man. You can't.
Yeah,
he's there.
Yeah.
Fucking bad. Be that bad.
What did you do to ETN?
He
Okay, it's not always about fantasy, Nestor. Not always about fantasy.
I mean, yeah, it is.
It's like when Arthur Smith got shit out of everybody's shit. It's not about fans. It is. Get the fuck out. Got fired.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Last Chance U, the Netflix football series.
Oh yeah, yes.
Someone took an old clip of one of the coaches like going off on one of the players, and in the comments, someone said, "This is how I talk to my fantasy team."
That's how Nestor does.
We won one. It worked. We won finally.
I'm out there like Al Pacino in that football movie from the mid '90s, trying to
5 inches. 5 inches.
5 inches. We claw and stretch for that inch, and then we lose by a mile. Can't motivate my team, man. Oh god.
All right.
KU Colts say.
Jesus, fall from grace. Ride or die in 5, folks. Let's get to this godforsaken segment. Before we hit this, can I just say, can we for once say something about a team on this show and it remain true after 7 days? For one time. Every single week we say something and the complete opposite happens. And it is so frustrating.
That is this year, man.
God, last week was awful. Nestor and myself went 1-4. G Money and Malin went 2-3. This shit is not fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm catching up, Jalen. Catching up.
You are inching up.
You sound a lot like I did last year around this time when I had like a 10-point lead on you halfway through the year. I was like, "Where'd my lead go, man?" I had this whole thing for 2 years.
Don't let him manifest.
I was watching the Lions game, and I'm like, all right, hopefully I can go 2-3 this week. Jared Goff is throwing 5 picks, and I'm like, for once, can it just not fall apart?
And then they still win.
And they still win, and they didn't cover. God.
I have lost more games by that half a point the last 3 weeks.
It's.
I'm still pissed off about that Patriots one 2 weeks ago with that touchdown that made 3.
Kiss my ass. You're gonna do
I
all
mean-
that, just throw an interception in overtime, you son of a bitch.
I love that. That was great.
I mean, for all
I mean,
Vegas
Well,
must be
don't pull
making
heroic
so
out
much
there.
money this year. They've got to just be loving all of this. So overall, I'm plus 53, Malin's plus 50, G Money plus 31, Nestor plus 26. You guys want to know how we are doing this season alone? I have those numbers as well.
Let's do it.
yeah, might as well.
Sounds good.
It's probably G Money.
All right, this season, Nestor and G Money are both 22 and 21. I am 20 and 23, and Malin is 18 and 25. And that is where we all
How
stand.
did I make up ground on you this year? Have a losing record to you this year. Wild.
Because we're doing that bad.
But I started 8 games back of you when the season started. How am I 2 games
I
worse
had,
than you? 5 games closer.
I believe I've had 2 1-4 weeks. There may have been an 0-5 in there too somewhere. It's pretty bad. All right. That's the past, though, people. This week, this is where it's at. Sunday, 1 o'clock, we've got the Ravens going to the Steelers. Steelers are 3-point underdogs at home. Big divisional game here. G Money, let's start with you.
Yeah, okay. So Lamar is 2-4 against the Steelers. Baltimore itself is 1-7 in the last 8 games against the Steelers. If nothing else, the Steelers handle Baltimore. And let's not forget that Baltimore has probably the worst pass defense in the NFL. I mean, it's atrocious.
It's bad.
Maybe they need. I mean, yeah, it's worse than bad. They wish they had like Carolina's pass defense. That's how bad it is. That being said, I'm taking Pittsburgh plus the 3. I look at them keeping it close. Tomlin knows Harbaugh real well, and yeah, I can actually see them pulling it out even. But gonna suck for fantasy for me. But I'll win in the ride and die first 5.
When you gave every reason why Pittsburgh should win, and then you said the phrase "that being said," I thought you were pulling it. I really did. I thought it was, well, everything I just said, that being said, I'm doing this. I really did.
I really did think. And then he was like, "I'm pulling out," and I was like, "There it goes.
What?
He's picking the Ravens."
Channeling my inner Nestor.
Oh man. Oh,
Hey, I
except
always
you
pull out.
actually had like some stats to break it down though. Ness is usually like, I just don't like the other team's colors. But I'm gonna pick the team of the team that I don't like with the colors.
So much happened in 20 seconds.
I love everything G Money just said, and that is exactly why I'm going to agree with him and take the Steelers plus the points. These two teams play each other tough on a normal year. This year, the Steelers, they can take anybody on any given week. So you're giving me points with them at home. Give me the Steelers. Malin.
And I thought you were gonna do the same goddamn thing that I love everything you said, and that's exactly what I'm taking the other team. I'm taking the Steelers on this one because like you said, everything that G Money said against the way that the Steelers play the Ravens, it's always close. They have a losing record against the Steelers. That defense is a heck of a lot better than Cincinnati's. So I don't think you're going to have the shootout like you did against Joe Burrow, but I think Russell Wilson can put up some points against that Raven secondary, just like Joe Burrow did. I think when you have Pickens in there, Najee Harris running the ball, they got a much better running game in Cincinnati, and then you got Mike Williams just coming out of nowhere after being disgruntled with the Jets. Russell Wilson still has that deep ball. And that's exactly where Baltimore gets burned. You give Russell Wilson enough time, man, it pains me to see it. Because if I squint enough,
I squint enough with these 43-year-old eyes. I'm like, oh yeah, he's still wearing blue and green. No, he's not. He's wearing the fucking Steelers. I hate that goddamn team. But you gotta take the Steelers and the 3 points. To have a better record against a division foe and be playing at home and be a 3-point underdog, the disrespect. But that also makes me feel like Vegas is trying to get more money on the other side. So that's why I'm going Steelers on this one.
Before you go, Nestor, if I have to hear Russell Wilson's deep ball one more time this week,
hey, it's true though, isn't it? Is it not true?
It is true.
He's always had the best deep ball in the league.
I'm just tired of hearing about Russell Wilson's deep balls this week. I got it. I get it.
I mean, Russell likes to go deep. Just ask Sierra.
Exactly.
That's probably a halfback counter. It's probably not that deep.
Go ahead, Nestor.
I was just trying to text my brother, not talking him off a ledge on betting on the Eagles and Commanders game.
Don't do it.
I'm like, trying to talk him off that ledge. You're gonna whatever money you bet in, you're gonna
you gotta let
him lose those $45.
Sometimes it's gotta hurt.
As long as he's not getting them deep with a bookie, let him learn his lesson.
Too late.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That looks horrible. But I agree with everything G Money said. I don't know why my dumbass decided to pick the Commanders when I said there was going to be a correction for the Commanders. And what better team to do that than the Steelers? So I don't know what happened with my head that last week. But give me the Steelers. Great defense, great pass rush. If Cincinnati limited Derrick Henry, I could imagine what a defense from the Steelers could do. So definitely give me Pittsburgh.
All right. All agreeing on one game so far. Jacksonville at Detroit. Sunday at 1:00. I always like to throw in these doozies where it's a really high cover, at least once a year, just because why not? 13-point favorites are the Lions at home. A lot of points, boys.
Can't do it.
And I'm going to take Detroit to cover all 13 of those points at home.
Wow.
I think Jacksonville is hot dog doo-doo. I watched Mac Jones go out there and somehow lose to Sam Darnold, who was trying to give them the game. And that was against Sam Darnold. Detroit is, according to Malin, the best team in the NFL. I would like to think that at home, they can cover 13 points against the worst coach in the NFL. In fact, if they do this, I think Doug Peterson will lose his job on next Monday morning. So parlay that one. Go ahead, man.
I don't think I like your tone when it comes with the Detroit being the best team.
It was a little bit of shade.
All right, so I'm looking at Jacksonville because 13 points, man. That's a lot of points.
They've done it before.
Well, the only time they've lost
this season
by 13 points this year was when they played Buffalo. They haven't played another team like Buffalo until they're about to play Detroit. Yeah. No, what's another team they lost to by 13?
I think that was it.
But Detroit's done it.
That was the Monday doubleheader.
Detroit's been beating people by more than 13. I know they have. I'm talking about Jacksonville losing by 13. Their defense is not exactly a slouch. At times they're able to keep it close. But in this case, I just think Jacksonville's going to run into a buzzsaw, man. Because the moment that something goes wrong in a game in Jacksonville, it snowballs. And there's no team better in the NFL than taking advantage of another team's plight when things start going wrong. The only thing that saved Jacksonville from losing worse than Minnesota or to Minnesota was the fact that Minnesota was trying to give them the win anyways. Sam Darnold was in his Christmas giving spirit, just trying everything they could to help keep Jacksonville in the game. But you're going to give me at Detroit in a game that Jared Goff is not going to have a game like he had last week.
Right.
Okay. There's just no way. Detroit beats up on bad teams. They beat up on them bad. And so I hate this. Jalen, you always pick these fucking games. This is why we have bad records in Ride or Die in 5, because you make us pick this bullshit. This is something I would never bet. I would normally never bet this, but you're going to make me go on the goddamn Hard Rock app and bet this fucking game. I could punch you in that big-ass dome of yours. But I'm going to go and take Detroit in the minus 13. And we'll see what happens.
I love it. Nestor.
I'm just gonna say this. They beat in October. They beat the Titans 52-14. That's a bad team. And I think the Titans are better than goddamn Jacksonville this year. Terrible team. Especially right now. God, Jaguars just look really bad. Any other game this season, minus 13, I'd say no, I'm not going for it. But this game, Detroit back at home, feeling a little cozy. You know, we kind of messed up that last game. We still won. Now we're back home. No. They're going to get these guys back into form. They're going to want to make a statement. Like, we're here. We're going to Super Bowl. Give me Detroit minus 13.
G-Money, bring us home.
G-Money's taking Jacksonville.
The only way Jacksonville wins this game is if they morph into the 2020 Alabama team that played Florida in the SEC Championship, where Mac Jones threw for 418 yards and 5 touchdowns. Is that happening? No. Fucking not happening. Mac Jones is Mac Jones. Jacksonville is a shitty team that coached by some imbecile who shouldn't be coaching. Probably will get fired before the end of the season. Because all he's doing is collecting a paycheck. I mean, he hasn't made anybody any better. In fact, Trevor has basically regressed.
What is with Urban Meyer?
Yeah, I mean, it's that bad. It's that bad. And let's face it, after that shitty game that Goff threw last week, Dan Campbell bit off one of his kneecaps, punched his wife, and basically said, "Not again." So, no, give me fucking Detroit minus the 13.
All right. We're all
of
in
us.
agreement on that one.
That's terrifying. All right, so 0-2. That's cool. Let's keep going.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
All right, guys. Next 3 games to the opposite.
4:30. Kansas City at Buffalo. Bills are 2.5-point favorites. Malin, go ahead.
Yeah, Bills. Taking the Bills.
Okay.
Taking the Bills at home. First of all, I feel like they're actually going to have an offensive line roll out there on special teams. I don't think 4 people block a 35-yard field goal. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure every time I've watched the Bills play so far, they roll out all their offensive linemen for field goal kicks. Denver, apparently not. That's something Sean Payton should look at. But you're talking about an offense that is well balanced. Cook is a perfect complement of this offense. And you don't have Coleman and Shakur. Like, Josh Allen doesn't have to feed the ball to one particular person anymore. I think that makes him a better quarterback. And I think that Kansas City's been playing with fire all year long. All year long. And the only other time they came close to losing a game was by half a fucking toenail against Baltimore, when they played a team as good as the Buffalo Bills are. I can get playing close a bunch of other teams, but I don't even think it's even going to be that close. But yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore with the -2.5. Or Buffalo. Sorry,
Yeah.
Buffalo. 2.5.
Nestor.
Go ahead, Nestor. Tell me I'm wrong because Kansas City is so much better than Detroit.
No, I'm not gonna change my answer. Fuck it. I don't have enough to change my answer, especially from a team that's done me wrong so many times when I bet for them. So I just think Sean McDermott is an idiot. I think Chiefs have way better coaching, underrated defense. I think Kansas City is a way more gritty team, and yes, Allen is better without Diggs, without an idiot who just doesn't know how to catch a ball, just complains about it. But Shakir is very mediocre. Keon Coleman is mediocre. Amari Cooper is good, great wide receiver, but it's not going to be enough. I think Kansas City plays this game down to a T, and they create mistakes for Buffalo. And with that guy in charge, Sean McDermott, they're not going to get it done. Give me the Chiefs.
Nestor's takes are like fucking Space Mountain. You have no idea where this thing's going. G-Money.
Nestor, wait a minute. You might want to reconsider this. Here's some stats that you might like.
Oh boy.
All right, fine.
Yes. Kansas City is 0-3 in the regular season against Buffalo. 0-3. During those 3 games, Josh Allen has averaged 293 yards a game, 3 touchdowns, and 1/3 of an interception. He's thrown just one pick. Mahomes thrown 9 picks. How many picks has he thrown this year? Malin, how many picks has Mahomes thrown this year?
9 already.
Yeah, 9 already. See, there we are. Andy Reid is a clever bastard as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the game because he knows he's going to play Buffalo in the playoffs. So he loses this game. Does something stupid, calls some stupid plays. They lose the game. And then, come playoff time, he uses that. He goes, they're talking shit about you. They're talking about your wife. They're talking about your kids. They're laughing about you. And they go out and they whip the living shit out of them in the playoffs. Give me Buffalo minus the 2.5.
Spitting facts. Because we're not talking about the playoffs. We're not talking about Buffalo and Kansas City in the playoffs.
We are not.
We're talking regular season. You can't tell me that the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL did not pick them in this game, Jalen. Because your record is who you say you are.
It is.
They're undefeated.
It is.
So,
and that is why
you gotta
I'm
pick
putting
'em.
my money where my mouth is. I'm going to agree.
There you go.
With my man Nestor, and I'm taking the
Woo.
Chiefs and the refs plus the 2.5 points in Buffalo.
I will say this though: the refs are more prevalent to help Kansas City out in Kansas City.
Yeah,
They are more
sure.
prevalent to helping them out in Kansas City.
And they have that hometown discount. This is a little
And
different there.
Do you really think the refs want to fuck over Buffalo fans in Buffalo?
Yeah,
See what they do to the tables?
They've got escorts out of there, I think.
There's
Both
only
kinds
so
of
many
escorts.
hotels in Buffalo. They'll find them. There's only so many hotels in Buffalo.
I'll
They will
put those
figure
in
out what
Columbia.
the damn zebras are. Better get them on a shuttle back to the airport right after the damn game if they do something controversial.
I can see. I'm going to assume Romo and what's his face are going to be calling this game per usual.
Oh, that's going to be
and
fair.
Romo will have his typical
Oh.
Romo self with a Patrick Mahomes game on the line. It'll be close. It will be very close. Well, if you're going to give me 2.5 points, if it was flipped, I'd probably take Buffalo. But if you're going to give me 2.5 points for the Chiefs, it's going to get wacky. It's going to get wacky. And I smell a controversial call coming at the end of this game. That's all I'm saying.
Great.
I'll tell you this. If Buffalo wins by 1 point, I'm going to get us canceled on this show next week with my language. I guarantee it. Will. If Buffalo wins by 1 point,
Such a
just
Buffalo
get
thing to do.
just
It's
get
gonna
the
happen.
drop button ready, Jalen. Just get the drop button ready. 'Cause I'm going to come out spitting. All right, gotta happen.
Tyler
Let
Bass.
them win by just 1 point. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Okay.
But
Let's go.
Butker's gonna need a field goal to win it, and Donald Trump's gonna come out of nowhere and start waving his fucking hair and blowing the ball through the goddamn upright. Jesus Christ!
Let's go to the Sunday night game. We've got the red hot Bengals going to SoFi Stadium to play the Chargers. Chargers are 1.5 point favorites at home. I did call this a must win for the Bengals. Nestor, what do you think happens here?
Dang it. I mean, it's at home for the LA Chargers, and they're only 1.5 favorites. I don't know what is this defense you're talking about that the LA Chargers have that is so great. I see the stats, but I just it kind of has a lot to do with the teams they're facing. I'm not a big believer in the Chargers this season, and I think Cincinnati's playing great. They're one-dimensional. They don't have great coaching, but they're putting up numbers. When they face a Chargers team like this, I think they're gonna, I think the Chargers have held teams to under 20 points, like the last 3 or 4 games, something like that. I don't know that stat, but I think Cincinnati's gonna get more than 20 points here. I really believe in Cincinnati to get this done. There's a sense of urgency, so give me the Bengals.
G Money.
Yeah, I was looking at the stats and everything, and the Chargers have the number 1 pass defense in the league. But when you look at who they played, it's like, okay, yeah, you really haven't played anybody that throws the ball. I mean, it's easy to have the number 1 pass defense if people aren't really throwing the ball. And one of the stats I thought was really interesting was that if they hold a team to 225 yards passing or less, they're 5-0. But if you pass for more than that, like 226 yards, yeah, they suck. Cincinnati's going to pass for more than 226 yards. I mean, that's a pretty much given. They've got Higgins back, if I'm not mistaken. They've got Chase. I mean, no, give me Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati. I'm going to roll with them.
All right. Zach Taylor was mentioned by Malin on the hot seat, and a few other people in our comments on the hot seat. You know who was not mentioned? Jim Harbaugh. I think the Chargers are going to cover at home in this game because I think Zach Taylor's a little bit sus here, and I think this puts the nail in the Bengals' coffin, and this is going to elevate the Chargers more into that wild card spot where they should be. I really think this is like the kind of turning point in the AFC this season where it's like, all right, the Chargers are here. They are legit. And the Bengals this is not their year. So I'm going to take the Chargers to cover 1.5 points. This should be a great, great Sunday night game. So give me the Chargers. Malin.
I look at who the Chargers have beaten, and I know that Cincinnati has a 4-6 record. I know they have a losing record, but the only teams they've beaten: Las Vegas, Carolina. They beat Denver, who has 5 wins. That's the best team. That's the best team that the Chargers have beaten. Is a 5-win Denver Broncos team. That's the best team. They beat New Orleans, Cleveland, and Tennessee. I think we all can agree that Cincinnati is better than all 6 of the teams that they've beaten thus far. There's not a single team better than them. Okay? Denver might have a better record right now, but if you put that offense against Denver's offense, that's wild. But at the same token, you look at it and you're like, okay, well, they've only allowed over 20 points scored one time this year, and that was against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh scored 20 points on them. So that defense is legit. It really is. But you're only giving 1.5 at home. Even in their losses, Cincinnati is putting up points. I do not think this Chargers defense is going to be able to hamstring them the way they have been able to other offenses. And you know what? They lost it to Kansas City 17-10. Kansas City's not even firing on all cylinders. I do think that this Bengals offense is firing on all cylinders, but I don't think that the Chargers offense can match a Bengals offense right now. I don't think the Chargers offense going up against the Bengals is going to be able to score more points than the Bengals going up against Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals. Hope I'm right, because I would really like to make up another game against Jalen. I'm already going to make up one on him. I'd like to get a lot closer. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals on this one.
All right, fair enough. Got our first island. Last but not least, Monday night, Houston at Dallas. Battle of Texas here. Dallas are 7.5 point underdogs at home. Won't have to worry about the sun in this one, since it should be the evening at this point. G Money, what do you like here?
Not a fucking thing if I was a Cowboys fan. I want the season to be over with, fire their head coach, and get me a new team. Houston. I can't see anything with the Cowboys that I like. Not a thing.
Yeah, I agree for the same exact reason. The Cowboys have absolutely nothing going for them, and they play like it right now. They don't care anymore. They know the season is washed, so Houston, 7.5 points. They actually have some things going for them. They're trying to win that division, so they should win this handily. CJ Stroud, please. Please. Just for the love of God, please. 8 points. Go ahead, Malin.
Yeah, this is one of those where CJ Stroud, you could either be a fan of mine for the rest of the time you're in this league, or it could piss me off, and I hope you stub your toe in every doorway that you ever walk through. Because there is no reason why Houston should not win this game by more than 8 points. Cooper Rush, I don't give a shit about his wins and losses. He's playing like dog shit this year. They have no running game. And who are they going to put out there besides Cooper Rush? Oh, Trey Lance? They're going to put out Trey Lance? He'll be good. He'll be good for 4 interceptions in this game. Ed Reed would come out of retirement to play safety for the Texans and catch 2 of them. So I'm taking Texas and this one. Oh, and Dallas fans, remind me again that CeeDee Lamb is the top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Somebody want to remind me that CeeDee Lamb is the top 5 wide receiver in the NFL? I forgot.
You know what's funny, Malin? People will quickly say you don't know ball, but when they're proven wrong, they never come back in the comments and say, you know what, I was wrong. And not one of them came back.
And you know what they were saying last year was he caught all that stuff despite Dak being his quarterback and nobody else on offense. But now they're saying, well, they have no one else on offense, so they have a quarterback to throw them the ball. And I'm like, listen, man, Justin Jefferson is doing shit with Sam Darnold.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. So, miss me, that Cowboys fans. But I digress. I told everybody it was going to happen. Even June bug thought I was like Judas and betrayed him with a kiss. But here I am, just being right. Fine. Whatever.
All right, Nestor. Why is Trigger Trey Lance about to light up Houston defense.
We're on the Houston train at the moment, right?
Right.
Choo-choo,
Okay.
motherfucker.
I think Houston has a way of lately of disappointing me.
Just
Don't like how they're playing lately. With that,
you've gotten the whole 4 picks so far without doing the Nestor thing. Don't do it now.
with that being said,
Yeah.
I just feel like Dallas tends to play teams very close, and for no reason. Teams that they have no business playing close. I'm bullshitting. Give me Houston. Dallas is broken team. They look worse than my Dolphins right now, and that's a lot to say. So, yeah. What a terrible. This could have been a much better game, honestly. Before all this
Right, you would think so.
happened.
All right, so I would just like to point out that the Dolphins were not in our rundown one time, but Nestor brought him up I think, 5 times.
In every
I think he brought him up 5 times, and he found a way to mention his He's found a way to bring up his fantasy team twice.
Hey, my boy Malik Washington next year. Put up in your fantasy.
He found a way to bring in his fantasy team twice and his Dolphins up like 5 times. Now, the only time where it's legitimate was when we're bringing up the hot seat for the coaches because I knew that was going to be brought up. But outside of that, he's like, you know what, my Dolphins, we need to give them some shine. G Money and I know what our Seahawks are. We're not trying to bring up the Seahawks right now.
Nah.
Yeah. I damn sure ain't trying to bring up the Patriots. By the way, if we were ever to get After Further Review shirts, the first design that's going on them should say, "With that being said, ...
Yeah, with that being said, let me tell you why everything I just said doesn't mean anything.
And I'm gonna go with the favorite.
I'm gonna pick the opposite of facts. What we do.
So to recap this week, we've got all of us taking the Steelers plus 3 points against the Ravens. We've got all of us taking the Lions to cover 13 points against the Jaguars. We have myself and Nestor taking the Chiefs plus 2.5 points. Mainland G Money, the Bills minus 2.5. Everybody taking the Bengals plus 1.5. Besides myself, I'm taking the Chargers to cover 1.5 at home. And then we're all taking the Texans to cover 7.5 points against the Cowboys on Monday.
Nice.
It's funny. I didn't realize this. The Cowboys haven't won a home game yet.
Oh, God.
God, that's funny.
Isn't it?
That is rich. Poor June. That's why he probably forced his wife to. Never mind. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to bring that up. Not going to bring that up. But June.
I just don't want to talk about
crazy?
the Cowboys anymore.
We could do this on Thursday or Wednesday.
Crazy,
Wednesday.
I think this is the first year that halfway through the season, none of our favorite teams have a winning record.
Yeah, that's off.
I think this is the first year that's happened.
Usually one of us is
I'm counting June's Cowboys, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, and the Patriots.
Oh, with me and Jim, that's half the battle one.
If Shaq's fucking forehead was still here, then maybe we'd have that with the Steelers.
Wow.
But his forehead went down with a red Honda Civic. So yeah, we're just all in the gutter this year. This is fun on football season.
It's a wacky one.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it for this week. I'm very curious to see how these picks turn out by this time next week. We need a change. Please, God. All right.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Because I got to go on the goddamn Hard Rock app after this and bet these fucking picks that I just made.
Which game bothers you the most?
Which game bothers me the most? Honestly,
Yeah.
the game that bothers me the most is the Detroit one, because when you have such a big goddamn point spread,
Take the money
anything
line
can happen
then.
to fuck that up. I can't. Well,
If you do a
Money line.
I mean, you could. You could do the
I
money line.
would though, but I always do my bets the way we do it in the Ride or Die in 5. So
Yeah.
I like to say that I put my money where my mouth is on my picks. So when I make these picks, I go into the app. I used to have MGM bets, thinking that I lived in New York up until before the Hard Rock app opened up. So whatever we do with the point spreads, like I lay it out the same way we do it on the show, and I take my wins and my losses. And that one makes me nervous. A 13-point spread makes me nervous, because we really thought that 6 points with the Ravens was in the bag last week.
Yep.
And boy, did we get fucked. That was... And the whole time I'm talking to G Money on the phone, my mom is sitting across from me cheering on the Bengals. And I'm like,
Lord.
you are just a mean person.
Oh, because of Joe Burrow.
In fact, she's been doing this the whole time. If there's a primetime game and G Money and I have picked the same people on primetime games, she's rooting for the other team for some obscure fucking reason. And so it's really nice to have to go against my mom cheering.
There's a 14-bet parlay on Hard Rock.
Oh, okay, you're starting to sound like you're.
No, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching that.
Don't do it. You're already doing the show from your bed. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I will say, shout out to the Hard Rock development team, because your app is great to use. You love taking our money, bastards.
Oh, they do. Yeah. I wish they came out with it 3 years ago when I was on fire. The last 18 months have not been great for me.
You're gonna make so much money.
My sports betting. The account that I have my sports betting money in. Just to let everybody know, like when I first started the show, I put $50 into an account when I first started the show. And I've done Ride or Die in 5, and the only bets I make out of this account are Ride or Die in 5. And I have gone upwards of over 2,700 on this account based on my bets. I'm at about like 670 right now. We've been losing the last year and a half, so we need some wins. We need some wins.
Amen. All right, folks. That will do it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on social media at AFR Sports on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to be featured on community comments, that's the way to do it. Besides that, we will talk to you all next week. Same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you all real soon.
Yeah.
Peace out, guys.